Mr. Park, when you design our Enclave Holland, what is the consideration for our buyers?
I want you to come home to a property that you can sort of wrap your mind around, and you are familiar with the spaces you go to, and then each of these spaces, each of these apartment, each of these unit you have, you can relate to them, and you can recognize even standing at the pool, where is it you're staying, right? Unlike many mass housing, you have difficulty looking which is the unit up on the block that you're staying. So this is something that we want to address.
Mr. Park, so what are the special features about Holland?
In right between downtown Orchard Road, the Grange area. On the other hand, it's just a stone throw away from all the GCB and another form of aspire living, right? You either aspire to be in the good class bungalow in the Namly across the road and all that. You also aspire to be in downtown Orchard Road among the Ions and Scott Square, right? So you're in the middle and you should enjoy both. And hence the way we created the experience that you approach the condominiums, you don't really see a very high fence. You're walking through more the greenery of both across the pool into the property, right? So that is what we think a GCB living is, in a sense. Your large garden, you're walking through the garden, driving through instead of open the gate, you park your car straight away for most landed house. But GCB, you tend to have a sense of arrival, a much bigger foreground. So we're creating that for the condominiums, right? At the same time, we are crafting the building to be like a good high-end condominiums that what we often find in this very. Why this project is important is because partly I think the developers' profile, they're young and experimental in design. At least they allow us room to develop and express our design. That's one thing. Also, we always believe that Holland Village is a very unique location, and it has been quiet in terms of property for the past 5-8 years, But in time to come, the government has a very good master plan for that place, and all the new property is coming up, and even URA is experimenting with a very new concept of town making, the way they blend the residential with the commercial. So I believe this is something, when implemented, is going to create a new sense of place that's very unique to the whole city. And the project will be in a very good time and good place to tap into this new development that's coming up. And hence we think something we put there will make a difference. And it also gives us a lot of history and background to draw from to do the design, rather than simply. So some architect will do their design without even seeing the site or just going down. Just look at the plan, okay, just decide it, pass it to the client, and we move on. But this is the one that we have to go around, walk around the area. At the back, there's Chippy Garden, which is also quite rich history, the Holland Hill, very strong character. So we thought it was an interesting project to start with from that angle.
Mr. Park, share with us more about your company and the philosophy behind it.
What we want architecture to be is like part of life. The same thing I tell all my young architects in the firm. You want to be here, I want you to be passionate about what you do, to the extent that you will be talking about architecture, about your work, over lunchtime, after work with your friends. Not something that, but end of the day, you shut down, you go to your gym, go do other things, and you drag yourself back to the office the next day unwillingly. That's the kind of people we don't want. So that reflects the attitude of the firm, and that reflects my attitude to architecture. And we feel that way because what we build is going to be there, it's going to shape how people live a life around, and we find that it's going to be there for the next 30, 50 years. And we do not want to treat architecture like commodity. We build it quickly, design it in the shortest time, and pass it on to the developer, and you deal with the buyer. That's not something we do. I think that has resulted in us getting a fair amount of recognition over these past years. For example, our own office, we were awarded the President Design Award in 2015. I think that's one of the highest accolades locally. We have got several recognition even from very established magazines in New York, interior design. I think we won it two years in a row, 3 years in a row now. So these are all validation of what we believe architecture to be, and confirmation that we are in the right path. And we will let this carry on, and we hope that Enclave, with the developers' help, right, and they're putting attention into actually making sure that the building is built as per our design. From the architectural point of view, I'll like you to take over the house and you like the project so much, you look out for the next project by the same developer or the same architect, or start to read out on the work we do and try to see what other thing we are doing and try to then acquire more of such product. I think we believe architecture, houses, property shouldn't be just mere commodity that you build so that you can tear it down 10-15 years later and cash another en bloc. We want this place to have meaning, to a place that you can build your house, you build your home on, to want to keep it and to pass it on. So we want the place to have meaning, to mean something to you beyond just something that you trade off. Right? Good property, there are good properties where owners are just not selling, right? And we want this to be one of those properties.